Overheating a little again. Ah, there we go. All right, 7:42. The birds are looking for food. And do a 360 here at the start of the walk. There's a patrol boat out there. Folks still fishing and chilling on this Wednesday night here at Coney Island. There's someone monitoring the lifeguard that they keep climbing on. And I'm going to do 2 miles. So I'm marching out. It's low tide again at 7:42. I'm going to see if there's any cool shells or pumice stones here at low tide. Welcome to chat. All right, so getting some more base miles down. Just going for a walk. Again, I'm in my work shoes. I don't have sneakers like Asics. And I haven't walked on these rocks. I just love walking on the rocks in Hawaii. See if they're slippery. No, not too bad. I was worried they'd be slick. So we're heading 1 mile down the beach here at low tide. And I got one of the homework forms done. I have more coding to do for the class. It's very time consuming, even with the teacher's assistants, to manage the class. But we have it down to a science. And they're getting paid, the interns. Some of them, minimum wage, or they can get a recommendation for a real teaching job down the line if they want to go into education. And on a summer work, they can see how to run a class. I don't know what else to tell them. Maybe I should give them the keys or to check my answers in terms of coding. The other thing that we need to do is add the superlatives before parent-teacher conferences. Like they get a perfect score on a quiz, it should say excellent on the report card. They get like things like that. Good homework, very good, excellent homework, etc., etc. So I have to farm that data. It's pretty much set up for the high school class. I have to do it for the 7th grade class. Now the waves are coming in. And I guess it's not the time. I guess it's that section of the beach. The water's a little more receded by that pier than a few hundred feet down. So the water line's a little higher as you go down the beach. To this particular beach, when I was here for a second, see the clouds. There's a storm coming from the south, according to the news. But people are still riding like the roller coasters and like the Ferris wheel. You can see there. The cyclone, you can still hear the people enjoying the rides. And there's some shells here. On we go. All right, again, thanks for checking me out. This is my sunset walk, and I bought a $3 umbrella in case it rains. And it's usually good for at least one rainstorm, right? It's not too crazy windy. There's no wind right now. And straight ahead, it's blue skies. So the storm's behind me, coming approaching from the south and west. So if you're raining on us, I should be able to do my first stream in the rain. See if the Wi-Fi holds up. I don't know. But here we go. Hey, thanks for the thumbs up. And we're here at Coney Island. Every few hundred feet, I'm going to pause because I don't have a camera stabilizer. So we're at Nathan's. And you can see the rides. The zoom in isn't bad on YouTube. And the roller coasters and stuff. There's the cyclone. and we're gonna head on. But it's a little bouncy and a little sketchy. I guess, you know, I should see about my GoPro app. But this iPhone is old. I need to get to a Verizon store and trade this one up. It's like an 11, iPhone 11, which I had for years. I just never upgraded, you know. So I should get like well, I don't even know what they're up to, 17 or 18. Do I even know? Do I even know that? But keep going. All right, again, thanks for checking me out here. I'm just going for my sunset walk. We're passing all the Luna Park rides. And there's hey, Jesus M. Damn, where are you? This is Coney Island Beach, New York City. And there's still some people swimming. Not too many boats. But some families are thinning out because the sun's going down. It's 7:48 New York time. Thanks for the wave. Again, if you can do a subscribe or follow, you can check out my content and I'll keep uploading fun content to watch. This is families, when they build the sandcastles, they use shells, they collect shells. There's my drippy castles. We didn't use shells very often. I think if I remember correctly, if we found a large shell or two, we would do like portcullis or straws. As soon as we find like hay in the sand or something, make like a portcullis around the moat or make bridges. We didn't use shells though. All right, on we go. So we're at the aquarium. We're about a third of the way to less than a third of the way of our mile walk. But I don't have a stabilizer bar, and I don't have a like a nice selfie stick for a nice walk. So if it's bouncing a bit, my apologies. I have a GoPro on a stick, an old one, but I don't know if it'll live stream. I got to get the app and see if it'll live stream on YouTube. So I've never done it like that, like a real camera to YouTube live. So I'm gonna watch a video tonight, see if I can do that. See if I can hook that up. Because the resolution's really sharp, even on like an old GoPro 7. My brother gave me a whole bunch of old GoPro 7s. He just dumped them because he works at a big architecture firm and they do like, you know, the Oscars, the Academy Awards, and all these big events. They set up the bars and they set up the red carpet. So they film it all with cameras all over the space for different perspectives. They just set up GoPros, $100, $200 GoPros. You set them up, place them along the path, so then they time lapse the workers. So he gave me like 3 or 4 of them because they're like, you know, GoPro 7s or whatever, and they use 10s now or 11s or whatever, because we're talking like corporate money. But so I'm getting hand-me-downs from my brother, but they're sitting there. I'm not really using them. One of the handles cracked, and I just, you know, I'm just living my life, you know. So you're gonna subscribe. Hey, thanks, Jesus M. And again, I lost my father this week. Is that a bucket? And I have a memorial next month. He had remarried, so his wife is a widow now. She is going to make arrangements for a viewing. family members. Look at the wall. You can see the wall exposed. So it is very low tide. When the tide is in, it covers the entire wall with water. It goes above the entire wall. And even the rocks. So the rocks just look like little lily pads when the tide's all the way in. On we go. And we're going to walk past the aquarium and past the Oceanside Grill. The humidity is close to 100%. Humidity is, so the air is a little heavy to breathe. But, like I said, I'm teaching summer school Monday to Thursday. Tomorrow I have a student after school for SAT one-on-one. But I don't have a copy of the book we're using. And and because I know I'll keep going. Yeah, it's very nice here by the water. Some family swimming here as the sun goes down. Even here, most of the families are Latino that hang out by the rides, and they're locals, African American and mixed. It's very international. But as you go to Brighton Beach, it's over 75% Russian families and Ukrainian, and there's some Chinese and some Greek and some Muslim. But it's at least 3 out of 4 people are Russian, sort of still in Brighton Beach, even after a century later. So it was Ellis Island days, 150 years ago. They hated Ellis Island until like 1920s. And all the Alien Exclusion Acts of the 20s, 100 years ago, which Trump is kind of echoing. He knows he is. He's got his politics is politics. And you have to. If you're a president, you have to know your history, But like the Chinese Exclusion Acts of the 20s, and then like 27, like the Irish need not apply, or like the different problems with these waves of migrations. Chinese had a lot of poor workers that were willing to do even the hardest jobs for the railroads. With dynamite, nitroglycerin, a lot of them died, without, proper grave, without a proper burial. The expression, not a Chinaman's chance. And if you were Irish, you were on the bottom of the totem pole also. You were doing some of the hardest jobs in construction and building the cities, or bricklayers and building skyscrapers. And et cetera, and anti-Semitism. So, yada, yada, yada. 100 years later. What is this? I don't know. So, I'm going to hop the wall. The shells. See if the wall is slippery. There's a lot of moss and seaweed, but it's not slippery, guys. I said this before. I've said it many times if you watch my stream. The seaweed here is so fresh. Like, in the Asian Mother, we had miso soup and hot pots once in a while, but mostly miso soup. It's very healthy. Good for digestion. The seaweed here is so fresh. It looks like fresher than like my salad I buy at the store. It's so green. It's so healthy looking, the seaweed. I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm talking about someone who grew up eating seaweed and fried seaweed in soups and dishes. And I did not look it up yet to see if there are people that take seaweed home and how to clean it properly to eat. But it looks so good. Brought a salad home with like romaine or baby greens, arugula. After a day, it was not a fresh salad. I was very unimpressed with the sealed salad once I opened it. The seaweed is so delicious looking. All right, anyway, let's pause here at the ocean. Enjoy creation. Tugboat. Tugboats have very strong engines. I myself have never owned a car, but I remember seeing ads when I was a kid on TV. It is a V4 engine. Okay, it's common. It has a V6 engine, which was a stronger engine, or a V8 engine. It was like, wow, it's a muscle car. It's a super strong car. So it'll go up hills fast and it'll go 0 to 60 in under 10 seconds or whatever. But I'm no expert on cars. I just didn't have a dream. A lot of, kids, when you're a teenager, even at the school, read magazines about the fastest cars, Lamborghinis, Porsches, Countaches, Rolls Royce, Aston Martins, the cars that James Bond drives. Kids being kids, middle school and high school. No more Hot Wheels. Like, what would be your graduation car? So, like, some of them are actually coming from very wealthy families, and if they behave well enough and don't mouth off to the weird math teacher, they can get a real gift after they complete the work that's required and go on with their life. So when they're 18, they get like cars. I had an ex-girlfriend posted her and her husband, they gifted her a freaking car for her birthday. Gifted her a car. What a lucky girl. Lucky, happy couple. Let me go anyway. Wait, where are we? Did we go too far? Where are the... Nope, we're not there, so we're going past the volleyball. There's one of the garbage trucks. Patrol is coming by. They're picking up the recycling and in the full bins. They're like these little desert ready, like, we used to call them box patrol cars if they were Cushman. It'd say Cushman on the back. So if you grew up in the ghetto or grew up in city housing, if a police officer was coming, and we didn't curse at the police or say bad things to the people, we'd say, Cushman coming. Someone was coming up the road, because we'd freestyle in the street or skateboard in the street. Cushman was the city slang for policemen in a box, those little box cars. But here, these Cushmen are pick up the recycling and full bins and reline the bins. They also go to the lifeguard stands, and they'll tell you, get down. You've been sitting there for a half hour if you're not a lifeguard. But they're not really officers of the beach, but they just give a warning. What's up, homeless? That's a bottle cap. All right, so no pumice this month. This is interesting. At low tide, no shells. It's July. I thought it'd be like jellyfish, horseshoe crabs, clams and oysters. Nothing. Just some hermit crab shells and broken clam and oyster shells, but no like treasure trove of interesting things. No sea glass, nothing, guys. Just some really nice green seaweed. No driftwood, no blue bottles. Those are rare, they're older. Here's some old rocks, though. What's this? Watermelon rinds, popular this year. This month. Some stones. Nothing. It's like some moss-covered stones. There's a little stone reef here. The sandbar usually about 100 feet out if you can find it. So in Hawaii, I remember, the water gets deeper and deeper. But if you go out like 200-300 feet, like to the warning track, can I walk on this? If you go to the warning track, like out a couple of 100 feet if you swim in Hawaii, there's a sandbar and the water's only at your knees. So I think that it's made that way to keep like a pool in. But that's like the warning track. If you go over the sandbar, you're not supposed to go like another 25 feet. But it's kind of fun if you can swim to it, because like it's like that raft in the middle of a lake. Because it's like, hey, I can stand here. The water's up to my knees. Cool. And you look back at the beach in Hawaii, at Waikiki Beach. All right, we're approaching Bright Beach, and 2/3 of the way done with the walk, 20 minutes. When we get to this next set of rocks, I'll spin another 360 or something. But again, most of the shells are broken. Nothing really been spit out of the sea. This low tide. It's interesting. And it's really humid tonight here in New York on July 16th. Yesterday when I was streaming about 30 minutes when I made it to the boardwalk, I checked my YouTube metrics since then. I was talking about, well, what do I need to get 3,000 hours a year? And since I got 900 subscribers, 1,000, I have like 1,070. The viewing hours have really boosted. So according to the metrics, the last month, 28 days, 243 hours, which is just 7 hours short of a 3,000 hour pace for over 12 months. So whatever I'm doing right. Just with my 8-ring videos and my juggling, my math videos. Whatever I'm doing right, guys. Because if it's 250 hours a month and it's at 243, I'm 7 hours short of the monthly goal of 250. Then you can set up your channel with subscribers that pay money. I don't know if they will, for exclusive content. So maybe I could do some math tutorials or juggling tutorials for $2.99, or English lessons. I don't know. What could I do? I'm a teacher. Calculus? Some calculus worksheets. All right. Let's keep going. Yeah, so I'll set up a calculus class, like $1 a lesson or something fun like that, with videos and everything. Worksheet links. That's what I'm going to do. Start with first year calculus. Then I'll do animations, matrix algebra maybe. I don't know, college level math. It's just for the, you got to keep your mind stimulated as you get older. But here we are at the Russian part of the beach, and more families are out here that live locally near the. I'm being part Russian. My father, who passed away recently. I always feel like I could move into a neighborhood like this, just live quietly. They're very nice, pleasant, like my cousins. A lot of locals play volleyball, even on a humid Wednesday night. Intense games. I'm sweating. I'm not sweating like a pig, but I'm sweating getting through this first mile. And I'm going to walk over to the tech ball table. There's someone napping right here, watching the volleyball. I don't have a beach blanket or a beach tent or umbrella. Only old me, huh? But my great-grandma used to take me to the park. So we make it to this mile. The park was very much like the little park here. Parks in Central Park. We sit quietly. She'd feed me. Very early memories in a stroller, and sleeping in her house in the stroller. Or when my mom was working, would come by and pick me up. Both my parents worked, so. It's weird, huh? Is that a rock? It is. So we had head to finish this mile. This is the tech ball cable, and pure tech ball is no arms, no legs, but the more common variant is just to play with no hands, no hand smacking. It's got this cave down table. Someone threw a cinder block under it. Someone left a boogie board. That's a nice boogie board. See how the beautiful people are enjoying their volleyball. There's a whole team, but looks like the rain isn't here yet. There's eight games going at once, but this is the first time in a few days that they haven't all been filled with games. There's just 6 tonight. As we pass the Red Cross station, I see some of the offices still open, but they're shutting down, and there are no drug dealers underneath or on the back stairs with beautiful single women. Alright, I'm gonna walk on the tire tracks because the sand's better packed and it's easier on the knees and ankles. There are no footprints really to follow, but follow the tire tracks, guys, for an easier walk through the sand. Alright. I don't really have a local gym that I've been going to more than once a week. I gotta hit the gym 3 times a week. I have a kettlebell, but I don't really have weights. I'm rambling again. As we pass the Red Cross building, we're hitting a mile. But I gotta move my fat ass. I mean, I was crazy ripped when I was running marathons, and I'd like to do one more in honor of my dad. He actually ran on track. I didn't. Said he was not one of the best ones. He did run on track in high school. And on we go. All right, we're going to the blue rug. Okay, on we go. All right, thanks for the follows and thumbs up. Please subscribe, it's free. And I'll continue to bring you good content. My name's Josh. I teach ages 10 to 18 mostly in mathematics here in Brooklyn, New York. And after this walk, go home, relax. I feel like a burger again. And I ate all my dumplings. I have nothing really in the fridge. I might just get some brisket, or you can go to local not restaurants. It's a Brooklyn tip. You can go to Rite Aid or Food Town. And for lonely old loser single men, they have these packaged dinners for like $6, $6 to $10. But it's better than a hungry man dinner. It's right from the deli. It's like the extra food. So definitely you can get a nice dinner at most supermarkets in Brooklyn for under $10. Fill a hungry man for the night. I didn't realize there was another shell drift down here on the sides away from the piss. Here's another. I was talking about making coasters, just scooping up the sand like that with the broken shells and making drink coasters. for a sushi bar. Anyway, I have these extravagant ideas. Hermit crab shells would be the chopstick rests, and the clam shells for the wasabi and ginger, etc., etc. So this is Brighton Beach. This is Brighton Beach. And basketball courts here too. It's Brighton Beach. Oh, it's Luna Park. I didn't realize that. No way, this is Luna Park, guys. Nice basketball scene. So the weird thing, however, on I was talking about the YouTube metrics. I thought, oh, what I'm doing better is I'm doing better circus content or better math content. But then I did it by video because I wanted to see if it was the live videos. And they're doing okay. And like on the 4th of July, I had 12 hours from covering the Nathan Hot Dogs contest. That was 12.7 viewing hours on that day. So they watched that and then they watched related content. So that's well above the average of 8 1/3 that you need. It's like 8 hours and 15 minutes per day adds up to 3,000. So that was a good spike. So that was a good event to go to, just if you want to be a streamer. But the number one video still is that Mr. T Just Say No to Drugs video. Like I said, I was an urban kid, and there's, growing up in the city, there's a lot of temptations and parties with drugs and alcohol and stuff. And I just didn't do it because I was, one of the smaller kids. It was just something that I didn't get into. I mean, I had a lot of health problems with asthma and stuff, so I kind of posted it as half a joke, but I was getting tired as you get older of the smart-ass comments of people. I mean, I'm not being bitter or jealous. It's just, I was like, this Mr. T one was funny. And the Michael Knight ones were funny, the Just Say No to Drugs campaign of President Reagan and his wife Nancy. She was a former actor. But it was, just use your common sense, kids, and, be safe and, educate yourself. Make sure you talk to your parents and just decent common sense things, being in New York. So I started posting those. And then one went viral. It's got like hundreds of thousands of views. That one alone has like over 300 hours of the 500 watch hours of the last 3 months. So that was a little disheartening because I thought that the spike in hours was coming from the circus content or the math content, but it was coming from 2/3 of it is that video. So that's being shared though, and the impact is almost at 1 million hits. So that's interesting. And I spent so many years street performing. I'm smelling the air, and the rain is coming soon, guys. It's going to rain soon. I can smell it, so I can feel it in my bones. My dad could too. He would say, when we were kids, a bus ran over his foot. He was in the hospital, flattened his foot. backed right over his foot, and it really hurt. And he's since then cursing the bus driver. He said, "I can always tell if it's going to rain because my foot swells or foot acts up when the humidity changes to a certain level." But he never complained. Dad rarely complained. Rarely, slow to anger kind of dad. Pretty, never encouraged lies or rambling. Kind of, listen to yourself. A good listener. He's a pretty decent dad, He was not a huge man, but he was very educated. Read a lot. Not huge physically. But a big law firm on Madison Avenue with a partner, Ron Coles. I hope he comes up to pay his respects to Dad. See whatever Phyllis sets up. She hasn't asked me for money, but I don't have much. I mean, I could contribute. But when his 90th birthday came around, she didn't ask me for anything either. And, like, for example, I mean, I would have upgraded the catering, but no one asked me, What can I tell you? I just don't have much, I don't expect anything, from anything financially. It would be nice if there were words of wisdom, like if he wrote something. He did write a book of memories, but he wasn't like the kind of man who sat you and gave you a lecture. As he just gave you a sense that right from wrong, and I trust you to behave a certain way, and when you don't, I won't be happy if you transgress. He's certainly no tyrant, He was a good moral voice as a parent. Been saying on the walk back, or walking a mile back, that a lot of boards damage from the New York Roadrunner run. There's 50,000 people marching on them, make them loose. So I'm saying that it really is damaging the boardwalk. These boards are almost 100 years old, a lot of them. So what they should do is, like 2 months before the race, they should super glue all the boards or put some epoxy over each screw, like screw them all down, because 50,000 freaking people are going to be running on it. They could put epoxy or tar in between the slats a little bit just to reduce the damage and reduce the injuries. But I know that the workers and managers know these screws that are being popped up and the damage to the planks, they come from large events like that. They do more damage than, than a truck driving on this, like with a full load of seafood or, for supplies for a restaurant on the boardwalk. They roll up here for a day. 50,000 people is running, because every time you stomp, it's a couple of times your body weight, and it just ruins these boards. Since the race, again, bodies are uplifted and cracked all over the place. So many of them are loose now. I'm sure Janet Cupo and the others know that it's changing the board, that's wrecking the boardwalk. I'm sure they've gotten complaints by now. They have to have. So they make it rerouted to the street right here. But it's so much fun running on the boardwalk, They need to do it in other cities too. That's what they need to do, is they need to speak to Venice Beach, California, or where the other triathlons and ask them, well, what do you do to make sure you're not damaging the boardwalk? Like, do you do like single file, or is it a bottleneck too much? You need a street that's wide enough. You just do it on a certain section of the boardwalk, because the damage is extravagant, I'm sure, maybe I could get a job managing the logistics of marathons. I've only ran 5 of them. I've ran 5 marathons. I'd like to do one more, at least. My breathing's a little bit labored with the humidity, but the air quality is pretty good here by the ocean. I'm not limping or anything. There's New York waterways. Telling you, man, more and more injuries each year on these runs. And I'm not talking about people who run at like my pace, like 10 minutes per mile, or at my best 9 or 8 minutes per mile. I'm talking about like the elite runners. They must hate the boardwalks at the end. It's just a few hundred of them in the elite packs, because the screws, I know they're getting bruises and twisted ankles and injuries. And like, I went from, 6th place to 60th place because they twisted an ankle or they hit one of the boards and it was loose. And it wrecked their gait for, a quarter of a mile. I just know it. So we're approaching the Oceanside Grill, and we'll see one of the sections where the boards actually cracked through from the run, from some event. And they've already patched them up and glued them up. And they use boards of similar color. So they look like they fit in place kind of nicely from whatever their supply is of extra boardwalk boards. Passing the epic 5th Street handball courts, where they have a history of legendary summer game tournaments of handball. I haven't seen any scheduled on any website, but they were intense when I saw them a couple of years. But that was like over 10 years ago. Someone's coming up behind me. So almost back at the aquarium, which means that we have about 2/3 of a mile to go. So we've gone about 1.3 miles. We've gone about 2 kilometers already. Saying that right? Yeah, 1.2. I guess I'm gonna have to schedule my schedule to make them 5Ks. I'm gonna go from 2 miles to 5K soon to build up my base miles. My knees feel good. My legs feel strong as heck. My cardio's changed because I ate a lot of fatty foods, and my gut health sucks ass. I was ripped. I'll show you some old photos. And I was ripped. So I'll get there again. You'll see. Believe in me. I believe in myself to a certain level. I'm no fanatic and I'm no super athlete, but I'll get back to it. My friend Goro says that 55 is the limit for it's all downhill after that in terms of traditional medicine and sports medicine. That's your peak, especially with running, things that are sort of all out, where there's a physical higher, farther, faster, those kind of sports. But I mean, it's different with ping pong and martial arts and circus. It's more of a longevity to lower impact things. But he was always very competitive, handstands and stuff. Traditional calisthenics like strength. Traditional things. Here are the boards. No, they're still crap, but they fixed them. There was a gaping hole there, so they patched them up a bit. And there's these ones here too. Let's walk on them, the new ones. They didn't match the color. These were totally broken. Yeah, they didn't match the color. These are the new ones. Oh, they're super strong. These are like new 2x4s. Oh, these feel great. They're not springy at all. They're like brand spanking new 2x4s. And you can see some of the underground city that's down there. I'm totally serious. There's like a road down there. Columns that go way down. I'm telling you, there's an underground city. There's an underground city. But again, as part of the route, you can feel the old boards and the loose screws from the half marathon. They need to come down here with a drill and power drill the screws down there, getting loose again. Look, you can hear them going up and down as I walk over. They go up and down like almost half a centimeter. They're totally loose. This one right here. This one right here. All these ones with these. I remember stubbing my toe the first time around the Brooklyn Half Marathon on the boardwalk. And then having to watch these screws as I ran. This is a really nice art piece, this wall. Sasaki. And thank goodness the storm front isn't here yet, but there's very low visibility straight ahead to the south. And it was coming from the southwest, so there's this bright spot here. Looks good, but that's a little ominous. And to the west, it's a little more ominous. It's the fire department. Just had a flashback. My brother and I had this big Lego collection. So we got Lego for Christmas. We celebrate Christmas and Hanukkah before my dad converted. So we had Lego up the wazoo. We had Lego City. And my dad had an O-gauge train set, which was super cool. Which is like a peanut-shaped, edamame-shaped, bean-shaped track with an inner loop. It had like 2 loops. And it was like from the 50s or 60s. So it was like, it had the electric milk cart and the horse car and a caboose, a red caboose. And it had the Lionel train where you would buy this little brown bottle of smoke pellets. And the electricity would melt the smoke, and it would smoke out of the chimney of the locomotive. I bet collectors sell that for tens of thousands of dollars now. Had it on a trundle below our bunk bed. We like to play with it, and it had a switch. But it was like the old style Lionel. Heavy train, every piece. It wasn't like the cheap plastic shit Lionel. It was like the metal cars. You pick it up, each car weighed like a couple of pounds. Like the engine, everything was made of metal. It was an awesome train set. And then we had a newsstand where the newsstand was chasing away a robber, and he had a dog that would run around the fire hydrant barking, and the dog was alerting a police officer to catch some guy who was stealing a newspaper. It was a riot. But it was all the classic, like Edward Hopper, like some film noir, like Humphrey Bogart movie, like super cool train set, like right out of like some Bogey and Bacall movie or some like 1950s or 40s movie. It was like super cool. I'm gonna look that up. If I were rich, found a nice loyal woman, we had a family and kids, I would buy my kid a Lionel train set if we got rich. Let's keep going, right? All right, we're at 50 minutes and we're walking to the parachute jump, which is straight ahead. I think we're over a mile and a half. So we're at the aquarium. So maybe a third of a mile to go. This redhead is slowing down. Down we go. All right, Jesus, again, thanks for being top fan of this stream and subscribing. It's free. And I'll try and bring good content and exclusive content soon to this 17-year-old YouTube channel. There is a high kite up there. I wonder if newer kites have drone cameras. I hadn't thought about that, but that's a kite on a string. Unless it's a drone with a kite string attached to one side of it. Look at that kite. Is it a kite or a drone with a string on it? It's up there. That looks like a kite. Huh? Well, first you take a lighter and you spark it. Then you inhale. Anyway, keep walking.
Not all black and white. No. Yeah, I had the camera. Isn't that interesting? Tickets to this. These like the kiddie rides. Good for all adult and kiddie rides. Wonderville is 10 credits. $10. So you should buy like a big card. Phoenix roller coaster is 10. Thunderbolt is 10. Bumper cars are 8. What about the stock trial cars? Where are those? Clowns of Coney Island. Fire trucks. Oh, those are kiddie rides. Are $5. $5 around. It's in Dino's. Wonder Wheel's in Dino's. Phoenix is 10. Thunderbolt is 10. Spook Around. Bumper cars was fun when we were kids. Manhattan Monsters. I don't know what this. These are 8. Nope. Didn't know. They're open until Labor Day. And come back on Friday. They have fireworks every Friday now, weather permitting. So check out the sign. It says it's a Friday. Oh, here's the sand sculpting contest. Did it happen already? Oh, we're gonna check this out. August 16th. Free to register. Coney Island Beach at West 12th Street, 12 to 4 p.m. Solo artist, family groups, and semi-professional. The 33rd annual. My dad was awesome at making sand castles. 7 days a week, Memorial Day through Labor Day. Free fireworks. Friday. I'll see. Change the time on the website. It's 9:30. 9:45. See? Aha. Website's wrong. website's wrong, guys.
I don't want to go to the
Hey! Hey! That's cool, huh? Did you catch that? And those gyroscope LED toys. And it's windy, so he shot up into the wind and boomeranged back. Good talk, good launch. Went pretty high. Went like 30 feet. Or maybe like 25 feet. Pretty high though. The corn here. Shish kebab. LED props. Oh man, that's fun. All right. You go further down the boardwalk, the police have these trailers where they launch drones out of when they feel like it. Sometimes when it's late, it's like straight out of Star Wars. You know how like it just launches all. You know how like Boba Fett is the Slave One ship, and when it launches, it like flies like super smooth. But if it's like an X-wing fighter or like jump to light speed, just like zips out like it was shot like slingshot. They have these slingshot drones that I guess are like DJI or one of these like top company $5,000 drones that they can patrol the beach with. But it's cool because they have like these white vans or these Winnebagos where they launch them out of with these slingshot launch. I don't know if they have a spring on it or whatever, but it's so cool to see. And keep everyone safe and stuff. The drones. On the 4th of July, they took a couple of the drones were flying overhead, and I thought they were cop drones, but over the crowd, like surveying the crowd. But there were tens of thousands of people watching the hot dog contest. But when he launched that thing, it wasn't as high as the Sky Chaser, but it was pretty high. If I was a kid again, I would do the Sky Chaser. I don't know how much tickets are here. This one's different. It's at the 3rd floor. 25 feet. It's good, right? I thought about buying a Coleman's or like a Playmate cooler and selling dollar sodas on ice. That trailer. I think more money than comics, you know? Dollar sodas. But what if I get shut down? But at the zoo, there just are not that many. There aren't that many officers patrolling the walk. I can just set up a table and just sell sodas off a couple of the tables for $1 each. And I should try it. Just see what happens on a hot day. But I've never been one of those guys that like went to Sheep's Meadow or Strawberry Fields and sold dollar sodas or beer or anything like that. I never did that at street performing. Ever. Never, ever. But I used to balance a soda can on the edge. Being a nerd, I never thought, oh yeah, they're also the people that sell dollar sodas.
I used to like drink it in front of the crowd and then balance it on its edge. Those guys do pretty well. They have the right location, the right crowd. Because then you don't have to wait online in the hot dog stand, and it's just fast money. What's going on here? Are there break dancers? Dancing? They're just chilling. I don't know. It's like a workout. Calisthenics or something. All right, out of here. So, 61 minutes this time. It is in my hour walk. But again, I know that end to end it's only 2 miles, so very slow pace still. We're out of here, guys. Later, skaters. Going on my bike. Looks like a corporate or a job like team. They're working out together, and then they're gonna play like softball or volleyball. It's got that kind of feel to it. Like, oh, who are you again? We're teammates. Like that kind, those kind of looks. All right, here's my bike. Here's the beach. I'm going home. Later, skaters.